To give a little synopsis to this book, basically it's about two slaves, Cora and Caesar, who escape their plantation known as Randall Farm. And they escape it through the Underground Railroad. But in this case, the Underground Railroad is a real Underground Railroad. With the Underground Railroad, Colson Whitehead channels realism and fantasy as he confronts the past, present, and future with this novel. A novel about America.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now.
Escape is a very important keyword in this novel. Cora is literally escaping the plantation and escaping to freedom in this book as well, but she's also figuratively trying to escape her past, mainly that of her mother leaving her long ago. Colson Whitehead describes her in the book. She's a stray. A stray not only in the plantation meaning, but an orphan with no one to look after her, but in every sphere as well. Some years ago, she had stepped off the path of life and could no longer find a way back to the family of people. She's alone. Even though she's living in a house full of other slaves, she is mentally alone because she felt abandoned after her mother left her. So she's trying to escape that feeling of loneliness. But when Caesar comes to her, she finds solace in him, and they escape together. When she gets to the north, she's by herself, and there's multiple people that are trying to help her, but she just kind of brushes them off until the last person, a man that she seemingly recognizes, but they recognize the fact that each other was a former slave.
What I'm whipping them. This is America. Don't got you slipping now.
If I could compare this to any book I've read this year in school, it would have to be, weirdly enough, 1984. For example, both of these books, the main reason why I would compare them is that they're trying to tackle issues of the present through the use of going back in time to the past and looking towards the future. But both do it for different reasons. For Colson Whitehead, writing The Underground Railroad, he's trying to look at racial relationships within America. With 1984, George Orwell is looking at the powers of the government, control, oppression, and a lot of other things dealing with basically totalitarianism by looking at the future. The symbols in each novel are also very similar. In 1984, Big Brother represents the oppression of government and the control it holds over its people. But in the Underground Railroad, that symbol is liberty, oddly enough. But this is because Cora can never truly achieve liberty because of the color of her skin. In other words, America was her warden. There is one key difference between the novels. In the Underground Railroad, it ends on a more hopeful note than 1984, with Cora actually escaping to the north through the Underground Railroad and defeating Ridgway. As for 1984, however, there is no hopeful ending, and Winston Smith actually succumbs to O'Brien's torture, and it didn't even matter, because he dies in the end.
On my Kodak. Black. Ooh, know that.
To basically answer the question why we study literature, we study it because, well, we're trying to learn from other people, but we're trying to learn what other people are like. We're trying to learn how other people think, how they react to things. It's like making a connection with somebody. And with the character of Cora, she feels imprisoned. And by reading about Cora, we're also reading about the slaves from the past and how they felt, and what they had to go through, and what they had to do to escape from their past. In the end, after reading the book, The Underground Railroad, I found that it's not what story you tell that is important. It is about who the story is about that matters.
This is America.
Just to give, a little review of the book. I liked it. A solid 3 out of 5.